The engineering dads have got their first world record, and you won't believe what for. 3, 2, 1. One. Well, at this point, you probably got more questions than answers, so let's go through them all. First of all, what is Vegemite? That's an excellent question. This is Vegemite. Vegemite is an icon. It's part of Australian culture. It's famous. It's up there with the Opera House, Bondi Beach, even budgie smugglers. It's ingrained in Australian culture for over 100 years. It's even part of the national anthem.
Give me a Vegemite sandwich. I come from
I'm going to quickly use this time to do a quick PSA for people who've never experienced the delight that is Vegemite. Vegemite itself is quite a divisive flavor, so it's very important to do it the correct way. If you've never had Vegemite before, always do it like this. You want to give yourself a large portion of butter, then followed by a small serving of the Vegemite. This is the most widely accepted way to eat your Vegemite. That's pretty good. The other way to do it is nuts. If this is your first time, do not take it like Nutella and spread it all across the bread, like this. Oh God. Now only 2 people in the world will eat Vegemite like this. Australians, like this boy.
Well, I have Vegemite a lot, like almost every morning.
You certainly do.
Yeah.
Or a tourist who's innocently asking, what is Vegemite to an Australian?
This is breakfast? You eat this for breakfast?
Being a larrikin is synonymous with being Australian, but we also have another phrase that I really like. It's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits. So, the more you know. Okay, next question. What's a Vegemite cannon? This is the Vegemite cannon. Now, it's not actually a Vegemite cannon. It's more or less just an air compressed cannon that I can use to fire things out of it. To be fair, I did repurpose this out of a rocket launcher that I used at Nerf battles. They have not invited me back. So seeing that I didn't have anything to use it for, I decided to change it to something good, or at least something not destructive. And so I put together the Vegemite cannon to a fixed position. I then also built this cardboard container to try and contain some of the Vegemite, which I had somewhat varying success for. I got it on the roof, and on the clock, and on the TV. But I also had to rig this toaster, which was really fun to do because it needed 2 new additional features. One, it needed to shoot the toast further up, so I had to change the springs over, but that is now. I also had to be able to fire it on command, which means I had to do a bit of wiring. Now technically, these are the cancel switches, so if these touch, and put that all together, and that is the Vegemite cannon. Probably leads into your next question is, why? That's a great question. Why? Why do this? Why set up a Vegemite cannon? Why go through all this effort to claim a world record? Weirdly enough, it's the same answer to a lot of questions out there in life. For example, why do we have a TV show in Australia called Married at First Sight, also known as MAFS, and people known as professional matchmakers find 2 people who have never met, put them together at the wedding altar, marry them, then we watch their reactions for the next few months as most of those relationships end up burning and dying like a car crash? Why? Seriously, why? Why do we do this? Apparently because we can, and it's funny. Like there's this one couple where like a woman's clearly been cheated on a lot and has a lot of trust issues, and then the partner they decided was a serial cheater. Now he's a personal trainer in the Gold Coast, and she's a businesswoman in Melbourne. Okay, obvious solution is to move her from Melbourne to Gold Coast, because apparently Melbourne doesn't have personal trainers and you can't change that career around, but you can uproot an entire business. And this excludes the fact that he actually looks like one of Thing 1 and Thing 2 with anabolic steroids. I've got a headache. What was the question? Oh, okay, why? Long story short, it's because we can. I have a world record. That is something I'm going to write on every resume and possibly come up every single time someone asks, do you have an interesting fact about yourself? And to me, it was a low barrier of entry. I already had the air cannon, just needed to repurpose it. I needed to make some small adjustments using experience we had. By the way, the engineering dads do a lot of these kind of fun projects. Have a look-see around. And then I got one. World record, just like that. And looking at world records to apply for, I wanted to do something that was patriotically Australian, which I think I did. And something that I want to tell to you, the viewer here, is these world records are world records. Anyone can do them or set new ones themselves. No one did this before we did it. Now you have an opportunity to try and beat us. If I told you there's a world record for the furthest way to throw a stick, you'd think I'm stupid. Well, we just call that javelin and we put it in the Olympics. Is that world records don't need to be incredibly complex. Find a niche that is just your slice of the pie and make yourself a world record holder. Because it's not hard. Because after all this process and all this stuff, applying for the world record was actually the easiest thing. And now that we have a world record, why stop there? One seems to be not enough. The Project Ava series as a whole is us trying to expand and getting more world records. And we're only limited by our engineering capability as well as our creativity. Now, if you've got ideas for world records, we're limited by our creativity. So if you have any ideas, just post them down in the comments below. If you like what we do, don't forget to buy us a coffee. Cheers.